toxic Avenger.
First off, thank you very much for coming by. This is a Warhammer video for Space Marine 2. It is. This is not clickbait. It truly is talking about the Bolter update that's coming soon. I don't know if it's in this week or next week. I don't know. But if this is a channel where you think I'm going to give you a play-by-play of every little patch note and what they're going to do to it, and you're looking for praise from my part, then you're in the wrong fucking channel. Maybe you should look for all those other ones that just practically licks, saber and focuses, in between butt cheeks area, because this is not it. If you're coming over here because you know that there's something wrong with the game and you have faith in the game and you know that the game could be a lot better, then thank you very much for sticking around. And let's get to it, right? So let's start off with that whole thing. What exactly is going to happen? Well, supposedly, I've heard, is that the next update is going to be fixing the royal fuck up from Focus and Sabers' part on the last update, where they nerfed a lot of the bolters. They nerfed a lot of the bolter weapons to where they don't cause as much damage as they did originally. And also by raising the difficulty level of the enemy PCs, also adding lethal. Now, I don't know about you. I already played lethal mode, and I gotta tell you, it is a royal fuck up. It really is. It's a royal fuck up. And it's not just on lethal. It's not just on lethal. It's also every other variant of difficulty in operations mode. Why would I say that? Because even easy mode doesn't feel like easy mode anymore. Standard mode doesn't feel like standard mode anymore. Hard mode doesn't feel like hard mode anymore. Why is that? Because they raised the difficulty level on the enemy PCs. Not only that, but when you play it on hard mode, they're basically bullet sponges, guys. The enemy PCs are bullet sponges. Now, if you look up what those bullets are really made out of, go ahead and Google it if you have to, what kind of ammunition the bolters use. You're going to understand that these weapons use the equivalence of a 50 caliber sniper rifle as regular pistols and assault rifles. That's the damage that those bullets make. Now, the enemy NPCs, yes, it would be too easy to just knock him down with 2 to 3 bullets. I get it. But at the same time, I've counted on the various modes of difficulty how many bullets it takes to take down a Minoris, a Majoris, and Extremis. And it's insane. They are definitely bullet sponges at this point. Now, what I want to say also in terms of this update is that most people are going to see this update as a favor from Saber and Focus, that they did this for all of us, right? Like oh well, we've heard your pleads and we're gonna fix it. We promise. Hey, we're here for you. It's good to play together. Shit like that. And, in no way whatsoever do they deserve any kind of praise or even so much as gratitude, because this was on their part. This was on their part. They didn't have to listen to the not large amount of people that said that hard mode was too easy. They didn't have to do anything. They could have just left it the way it was. And, hey, you know what? It got too easy for you. Maybe you're spending a little too much time on this game, and you should maybe go play something else, because if you're already that good on hard mode on this game and you've practically unlocked everything and you've already reached the limits to every class in their skill trees, then damn, you're a no life. You're a big time no. I don't play professionally. I play because I want to enjoy just the universe of Warhammer, you know what I mean? Just shooting aliens, being a space marine. I mean, to me, that's what it's all about. It's not, I'm gonna see if I can prove something to myself because I'm a loser and I got nothing better to do with my life and my self-esteem is at an all-time low. This was, in my theory, you can go ahead and call it a conspiracy theory. Hold on while I put on my tinfoil hat. I think that this fuck up was an accident. Yeah. This was not an accidental fuck up, guys. since the last update for the operations mode that we got, this was not an accidental fuck up. This was intentional. It was intentional. Because when you create a game that you've talked about how you've revolutionized gaming, and how there's all this stuff in it, and how impressive it is, and all the propaganda that went behind it and shit, and then you also release a battle pass, or yeah, like a season battle pass kind of thing, and well, look, wouldn't you know, there's not enough to offer. There's not a lot to offer in this game. You would have to periodically, sorry, because I have a little thing under my tongue. You'd have to periodically be visiting the game once every, I don't know, 2 weeks, so that you don't get tired of playing the same thing over and over again, like some sort of boring old ass routine and chore. Because after a while, it starts feeling kind of like a routine. It really does. You almost feel obligated to play with the damn thing because of how much the game costs. And if you're anything like me and you paid for the gold and ultra edition, yeah, it feels like an obligation after that, because you don't want your money going into the fucking toilet because you didn't get exactly what you wanted for how much you paid. And in my case, sometimes I do feel that the game, it's lacking a lot. It's lacking a lot of content. They haven't added any Easter eggs. They haven't added any content to unlock at the end of the campaign mode, especially if you've replayed it on all sets of difficulty. All settings of difficulties, there's nothing to unlock. That's why my last video that I made, I called it nothing to aim for, because there's nothing to unlock. There's nothing to achieve other than maybe a trophy or an achievement. But even then, I'm not really into that whole having to get achievements and trophies, to be honest with you. I mean, they say that they wanted to make this game, what was it? Old school? Like the old school games, like the 360 days, you know, when Space Marine 1 was out and shit, even though it was also on PS3. I digress. Now, how are you going to do that when you've already added so much to it that if that was your intention, you never should have done it the way you did? You should have just made the game, the operations, and that's it. No chapters, no gun skins, no skill trees to unlock or anything. You should have just made it like Space Marine 1, you know? You should have just made it like Space Marine 1. But they set themselves up. They set the bar. Now, it's their fault that I have high expectations, because that was their hype. They hyped us up for the game that they released. They hyped us up for the content that they were going to release. It's not on our fault. It's not on our fault that they're not doing a good job. Now, the reason why I say that this was an intentional fuck up is for that same reason. Think of it this way, guys. You don't have enough to offer the game, and you already made the plan. You already made the roadmap, right? And Season 2 is supposed to last until what? Fucking December? Near the end of 2024? For only one operations map, one free cosmetic for one of the sidearms. What else? I mean, it says right there. You can see it for yourself. And for those that paid for the gold and ultra edition of the game, you get the Dark Angels cosmetic pack, which doesn't give it to you right off the bat. You have to grind to unlock the parts. Right? Give me a break. Seriously? You know, now I have to work for something that I already worked to pay for? Yeah, it's the irony. But that's all they added. So, of course, they're gonna try to buy time. They're stalling, guys. They're stalling. They got nothing else going on. I mean, they could easily just surprise us with events, like maybe a Halloween event. I mean, it's already around the corner, guys. Halloween's already around the corner, and they didn't bother doing that. Why? I don't know. Maybe because they wanted to make it feel like an old school game, despite the fact that, like I said before, they added a goddamn battle pass. But that's what I believe happened. They released the update with the new operations. They added the lethal mode, and they listened to the very few amount of people that said that hard mode was too easy, so they fucked it up on purpose. They nerfed the guns damage, and they raised the difficulty on the enemy NPCs. Nothing feels the same as it did the first day the game came out, does it? Nothing feels the same. And I know I'm not the only one complaining about this because I've seen it everywhere. I've seen it on Facebook, I've seen it on X, I've seen it on YouTube. I don't know about Instagram because I don't have an Instagram, but I've seen it. I've seen how a lot of people have said that they really did screw up the game. But like I said before, this was in no way whatsoever accidental. This was intentional. Don't believe me if you don't want to, but go ahead and look at the math. Look at the math behind it. Why else would they be so open to admitting that they screwed up if it wasn't intentional? You're probably thinking to yourself, well, it's because Saber and Focus are just that nice. You know, they owe it to us. There's a lot more that they owe us than just an explanation on the intentional fuck up. There really is. But I mean, that's what you want to believe. I mean, go ahead. I mean, because you know Santa Claus is real too, right? And so is the Tooth Fairy and the Easter Bunny. You know, because hey, if Saber and Focus want to admit that they fucked up so openly and so easily, then hey, you know what? They must be the best people around. They must be the greatest developing studio in the history of gaming, because it takes a lot of balls to admit that you fucked up, especially when it was intentional. Because that's what it was. It was an intentional fuck up. That's what it was, guys. You can't imagine if in life you can nerf guns the way that they do in so many other games that involve weapons like Call of Duty and everything else. Wouldn't that be awesome if you can nerf weapons in real life? Why? That's something else. Someone explain that to me. That's something that I haven't understood on any game involving weapons like rifles and pistols and shit like that. That's something that I've yet to understand, why developers decide to nerf weapons. Because people know how to exploit it, people know the ins and outs of a weapon, and then there's always that pussy motherfucker that complains about it, like they used to do it with Destiny and Halo. The shotgun is too OP, everybody keeps using shotgun, can you, is there a way that you can fix it? I heard a lot of people always say get good, and I used to get pissed off at that. But you know what? I'm actually starting to understand that maybe those people had the right intention when they said get good, because it's true. You know, you can't just go around nerfing guns because there's complaints about it. I mean, you can't do that. You can't do that. If you want to do it on multiplayer, yeah, maybe, and that's a big maybe. If you want to do it to multiplayer because people will be complaining about it later because other people know exactly how to use it, then maybe. Especially if nowadays they're always modding for, like, you know, easy aim and, you know, sticking to the target and shit like that, like they always constantly did on Warzone and shit. But when it comes to operations, NPCs on both operations and campaign mode, why would you nerf weapons? Well, all of a sudden did the NPCs decide to make a picket protest outside of the studio? You see all these Xenos outside with their picket signs saying too much damage from the bolter. Like, I don't understand why they would have nerfed it in the first place. Why they would have nerfed the bolter weapons in the first place, and why they would raise difficulty in the sense of turning every NPC into a bullet sponge, because that's exactly what they did. They turned them into bullet sponges. I don't care if you say to me, well, it's because that's the whole point of making it difficult to challenge you. No, an actual challenge would be the game director making the enemy NPCs smarter, not harder to kill, in the sense that you can empty an entire fucking clip from a bolter and it still doesn't do as much damage as it would on a less difficult setting. That just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense to me. Okay, it really doesn't. So that's gonna be the update that we get later this week or next week. Why? Because they're buying time. Because the more time they waste on needless updates and balances and fixes, the less time they have to work on other things. Because if they have less time to work on other things, then that's less complaint from people like myself and telling them there's nothing left to do in the game, we're done with it until you guys don't put in something else, because their numbers do require people showing up to play their fucking game. they do depend on people playing their fucking game, whether it's on fucking campaign operations or multiplayer. The numbers really do count for something, guys. It really does. Don't believe me? Go to Steam. Go to Steam. See how many people have left the game because there's not enough to do anymore. There's no replayability in campaign mode, and there's no replayability in operations mode. And the only reason why anybody would ever so much as think about playing operations mode over and over again is because, one, that's the only game they have. It's the only game they have. Or because they're streaming themselves on Twitch or something and showing people the ins and outs on how to make your class stronger and more tanky and shit. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Thanks for coming to my stream. I'm gonna start showing you guys how to make it more tanky and blah 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 blah. That's the only reason. I don't look forward to fucking making every fucking class tanky or raising their level or anything. I'm for tactical and heavy and maybe bulwark. That's it. But I'm already done with tactical. I'm already done with heavy. And to be honest with you, I'm not really a big fan of bulwark because when it comes to the blocking and the dodging, bulwark's not exactly all that great. Which is ironic because the season pass for season 2 content is Dark Angels and it's mostly targeted to bulwark. Sucks. But anyways, you know, that's it. That's the only reason why. You know, call me a conspiracy theorist if you want to, but that's the reason why I believe this is happening, because they got nothing else going on, and the more time they waste on updates, the less effort they need to make for content. They got nothing else going on for them, guys. This is it. This is where they peaked. This is where they peaked, and the only thing they got going on for them is intentionally fucking up the game so that they can fix it. I don't know. That's my 2 cents on the whole matter. Let me know what you think. Are you excited about the supposed update and weapons balance fix, or are you like me? Do you feel that just something doesn't smell right and Focus and Saber really stepped on it and we can all smell it? You know, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Thank you so much for you know, stopping by, listening to my rant. And if this is your first time here, you know, thank you so much for choosing this channel to listen to my BS. And hey, you know what? Please make sure to leave a like, subscribe. It doesn't cost you a damn thing to subscribe to me. And make sure to leave that, you know, bell notification so that the next time I come up with a video, you'll be the first ones to know when I do. And hey, you know what? Until then, that was Toxic Avenger.
The Toxic Avenger is coming to your town. Look out!